The parameters we have on the bottom here are what we call the placement parameters in Practicam. Here inside Practicam you can see the placement parameters: has in, has out, offset Y, placement, and quantity. And we have the same ones inside Practicat. The first four we're going to cover is the has in and offset in, and the has out and offset out. Currently we only have one stiffener in the center of the duct, quantity 1, as is notated right here by placement and quantity. However, we can also choose whether or not this stiffener type will get stiffeners on the in joint or stiffeners on the out joint. And all we have to do here is say if you want one on the in joint, has in yes, and it's going to appear. And after it appears, you can choose how far the offset's going to be from the in. Currently it's set at 1/2 inch. However, if we move this to 4 inches, what it would do is it would move this stiffener 4 inches to the right, all the way to the end of the duct. Same thing with the has out. If we took has out and said yes, we would now get a stiffener right here on the end. You can see that the offset out is 0. We're now going to make it 6 inches. And that's going to move this 6 inches in the opposite direction down the fitting. So utilizing our has in, has out, and the offsets, we can choose where we'd like stiffeners on the in joints or the out joints. The offset Y parameter controls the center stiffener. If we were to move it up in value, positive numbers would move it away from the center to the right, and if we were to move it down negative values would move it away from the center to the left. We can simply put it at 0, which would normally be in the center line of the duct, or we could simply choose the value offset we would like to have. The last two choices we have for placement parameters is the choice of placement and quantity. And these two parameters work hand in hand. If we go to placement parameters, we currently have two choices in the drop-down menu: quantity and space. If you put it into the quantity method for placement, it means that we'll be asked for a quantity, and here we're going to pick 2, and it's going to take the center stiffener and put 2, and it will make sure that the distance between all of the stiffeners is equidistant between them. So based on the quantity number, obviously the spacing is going to be calculated. Number of stiffeners divided by the available free space. This is different than choosing the placement method space. When we do that, Practicat's simply going to ask us for the minimal spacing we need. And when that happens, and you can see it switched the parameter here, now we can choose whatever the minimal spacing is. If we were to say 2 feet, that means that the minimal spacing we should have is 2 foot. And we're going to get at least 2 foot between each stiffener, and it's going to replicate the stiffener from the center line out, making sure that we have no less than 2 foot of space between. So you can choose the quantity method for placement or the space method for placement.